Hello, welcome to Couchcasters. It is Monday, February 3rd, 2025. Joined here by my co-host Murph, co-host Parker. I'm your co-host Jeff. Got a lot of stuff to go over today. We're going to be talking about some hoops. We're going to be talking some Bama representing in the Super Bowl. Obviously, there's some big news on the coaching front that broke last night. So, we're going to get into all that. So anyway, what's up, Hunter? What's up, Parker? How are you guys doing?
Not much.
Can't complain. It's good to be back. I know we took a little hiatus for a little while. A lot of changes going into 2025, but I think we're back on a steady pace here and ready to get back on the grind of talking all things sports.
And some good positive notes for Alabama too.
Mm-hmm.
Might not be through yet with the recent availability of one Scott Huff, offensive line coach, formerly of Debo's staff. Spent a year in Seattle with Grubb and the Seahawks, but he's got let go today. So, I mean, I'm sure that's going to kick up now, but that's going to be out there. Is there a room for him? Will he find a spot for him? If Huff wants to come, Debo got to make a spot somehow.
I find it fascinating that Nick Sheridan is staying on board with Grubb coming in.
I don't know.
I know we were texting out in the group chat. I was like, man, I really hope it's not this co-OC thing, and it might be just a name only. But I don't know. It must speak to a relationship that Nick must have with DeBoer, but it's still kind of weird.
Yeah, J-Bag got some. He may be right here. This is probably a 1 or 2 year at the max hire. Yeah. Especially if we're successful, if we're winning games and we're in the playoffs and the contender, your staffs get rated. Last year we had the worst year in 17 years and didn't lose a single staff member other than one that got fired. Didn't get a single one poached. That tells you really everything you need to know. So, anyway, so it was, here we are. It feels like deja vu. We were right here a year ago with Ryan Grubb as OC, and a year later, here we are back with Ryan Grubb as OC. Like I said, I think it's a 2 year stop at the most, especially if we're winning games. They may want to coach Keelan for a couple of years, or even Austin Mack. You forget, Austin Mack committed to DeBoer and Ryan Grubb up in Washington. So, and he enrolled a year early, cost him a star. So, in the rankings. So, Austin Mack may be making some noise now. I feel like he's kind of getting overlooked when everybody's talking about the quarterbacks. It's Ty and Keelan are the main two everybody's talking about. But, I think Keelan's going to win the job outright in camp. But Austin Mack's going to make some noise, I think.
Yeah, I just want to talk about sheer size of him. I mean, the guy, as far as a quarterback, he's 6'5", 240, 250. I mean, guy is
Roll Tide, Adam.
Roll Tide, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, I mean, as far as physical specimen, yes, he is he fits the bill. I mean, I think a comparable quarterback in the NFL size-wise would be Josh Allen, being that big. But obviously, comparing two different situations, but just physical stature. He's got it. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting now to see. Bama got their guy. The Bama fans got who they wanted. All the talk, we want Ryan Grubb. We want Grubb. We want Grubb. Well, you got what you wanted. So we'll see what happens. And I think it's going to go well. It's going to be better than last year. I think it'll be have some more fluidity to these, to this play calling. I've heard that, Grubb is basically like the good cop, bad cop. He's the bad cop in the relationship with Debo. Debo being a very nice guy. Everybody knows he's not very, confrontational, at least compared to Saban. Obviously, we like to make comparisons here, but
you may see that start to change a smidge.
And I think we will as well.
Wanzi!
Hey, there's the guy.
Yeah, I had to find a headset real quick. Dog was barking. So
It's a constant equipment.
took me a
battle with
minute, but
Fonzie and Tech.
We'll
Yeah.
see if the camera survives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
but
Over under on how long the camera makes the show.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
We take bets each week.
15 minutes.
it'll be right when I start talking. How it
Yeah.
always is.
It stopped there.
As soon as I get going.
There it went.
Just make
It
sure you're always
went up.
smiling or always have a weird look on your face. So this big, like, I mean, we're going to be in a lot of living rooms. We're getting in a lot of living rooms in terms of a lot of these recruits. Saw a lot of pictures going around, a lot of visits going. So there's some too. I don't know the kind of recruiter Grubb is, but I mean, there's momentum here now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Sheridan kind of, he made mistakes calling plays last year. Obviously, I think he was hamstrung by a lot of inconsistencies on the offensive line, on the quarterback play and running back play. I think that when you're inconsistent at three of those areas, it's kind of hard to call, good plays and always have efficient offense if you're inconsistent in three of the biggest areas you need. So I don't think Sheridan got a fair shake. So I'm glad he's sticking around. I think he's a good coach. I think he has a good reputation. I just think it was almost an unwinnable situation for him, last year. So I don't think he's going to make as much money anywhere else. It could be another reason why he's sticking around.
That too.
Well,
There's something to this.
I mean, Grubb
Yeah.
may not be here that long, too.
Yeah.
We were just talking about before you hopped
Just
on.
talking about that.
2
So-
years max.
1 to 2 year at the max. I think 2 years at the most.
Who knows what's happening behind the scenes, but it could very well just be them saying, hey, Nick, sit back for a year or two.
Yeah. Learn,
work at it, and you'll take the reins and, X
You
amount
guys
of time.
co-OC
Never rub moves
together
on
for the
again.
next year or two, and then go from there. But if we have a great season and light it up and are in contention, he'll be gone after this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'll notice. I said earlier, Scott, like we had our worst season in 17 years and didn't get a single coach poached.
No,
It's not a coincidence.
no.
It's just the nature of the business now.
Yeah, but this is everything's different. Going to be different now. There's no egos to appease. There's no eggshells to walk on. There's no water he's got to tread lightly through. This is his crew now, his team. The guys on the roster are bought in. They've either the ones that haven't either left or graduated or whatever. But a lot of guys recommitted, and he's killing it in recruiting. And he's got a lot of skilled players coming in recruiting, and even got some good ones in the portal. So the guys that are in now, this is not year one anymore. Now, if you're still here, you've bought in. You're here for DeBoer and his vision. You're not here because Nick Saban recruited you and whatever. Like the guys that have stuck around, come back, and committed in the meantime are committing to DeBoer and his system and his program now.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be a lot different the way he coaches now. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of noticeable differences just in himself, the way he talks, maybe just different things are going to be just a little bit different. Last year was just a crazy year for the guy. I mean, lands in Tuscaloosa, and before he even turns around, he's already lost his OC and his offensive line coach that he's having to scramble to replace before he's even barely met his team. So it's all different now. I think it's going to be much different now.
I hope so.
Well, I see it as being positive. Who?
No, that's
talking
funny.
about Grubb's?
Grubb's
What?
family's not even moving, then he's definitely not a long-term answer.
No.
Don't sell the house just yet.
Yeah.
Might as well just be get him in one of them one
Get an
bedroom
Airbnb
apartment.
out for a
Yeah,
season.
Studio.
studio
Yeah,
that right
DeBoer's got
across.
like a apartment above his garage. You can stay there.
Yeah.
We'll put a cot in your office.
It'll be all right. Be good.
That's fine. You know, the football facility is nicer than anywhere you'd stay anyway. So, yeah, just move in there.
Yeah, apartment over at Rock Point, right across the practice facility.
Yeah, he'll be
Think
fine.
about those condominiums over there. He's going to be like, nah, I'm just going to prop it up right across from the practice field. Don't worry. I don't even need a car. What are you talking
The
about?
university probably owns 5 or 6 houses around there specifically for
sure, yeah.
one-stop coaches. They're like, put them in house 3. Okay. Give them the keys.
I'm sure they have their own cul-de-sac.
That's it. The 1 year club.
I don't know about all this though. I mean, it's obviously a great hire, but 5-10 years ago.
Yeah.
5-10 years ago, I would have wanted more continuity, but now it's
There it went.
year to year.
There went the camera.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's frozen. Can you hear me still?
I can still hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't
still
know. I just think in this era, there's so many different challenges now that maybe
Right.
continuity in coaching isn't as important as
Well, it's almost like a forgotten luxury because it's so rare now.
we were 9-4 this year. Kirby's Georgia was 11-3. Easily could have been worse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Could have been a heck of a lot worse.
They were in a much better situation than we were, I think, going into this season. I don't mean to single out Georgia, but I think a lot of teams are going to go through that. I don't know if
Yeah.
Texas
you're
will be that great next year. Obviously, they have Arch. A few other teams, Oregon. A lot of these teams, they're relying on NIL. It's just going to be topsy-turvy. Your window might be 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
And I still
Roll Tide,
think,
Jay Walker. Roll Tide.
And I think a big thing of it too, piggybacking off what you said, Scott, is, I still think you've got to have a, dominant quarterback play. Got to be, one who isn't afraid to attack a defense, but not to the point where, he's risking everything and, just, going out there and throwing it every time, putting it into double or triple coverage. We saw that plenty with a lot of quarterbacks this year, and a lot of turnovers. I mean, Beck had a horrible year when it came to that. Milrow had a horrible year when it came to it. There's plenty of quarterbacks who felt like they were pressing all season. And I mean, the best one ended up winning the whole thing. The one who was the most consistent, in my opinion, being Will Howard. He played for the best team, but again, he also didn't go in there and force anything that didn't need to be there.
But also being able to spread the ball around is huge,
Yes.
You can't live and die
When you have,
especially when you have talent on your team, it doesn't have to live and die on this one dynamic that you have.
Yeah.
You see in the NFL too.
Agreed.
all the 27-year-old quarterbacks aren't going to be a thing too, because all the
I agree with that too.
eligibility
That
is
needs to
finally
end.
burning off. So
There needs to be
That
like
could
an
help
age limit for college
quarterback
ball.
play
Rookie of the year in NFL at the age of 28.
not be so ridiculous, but
I mean, I'm serious. And now they're like, oh, if you played 2 years at junior college, you get 2 years at D1. What?
It doesn't count against your eligibility in Division One. Well, then what the heck are you doing?
If it does just soon, they'll probably buckle. It's fine.
Yeah, they don't got any gumption.
That is asinine to me. You're going to have 30-year-olds playing college ball.
Well, I guess there's still time, Hunter. I guess we can go strap it up.
You're
We can
saying
go-
I still got time?
we still got time, man. Still got time.
Oh, they can play kicker at this point.
Oh, yeah.
It's out of shape.
Yeah.
We can go do that. Be long snapper or something. Don't worry, we'll be fine. Be great.
This is a good point. Offense is going to put up some points. Defense coming back. It's going to be hard for teams to score. I mean, our defense should be pretty good, barring any major injuries.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was a
Knock on
major
wood.
thing this year. We actually didn't have too many major injuries until towards the end of the season. D-Law going down, Keon going down, and then I know Malachi ended up not playing. He didn't play in the bowl game, right? Because he
Right.
was hurt.
Yeah, He was
I know
holding out
there's-
to see if we made the playoffs, and we didn't make the playoffs. He got that surgery almost
I
immediately.
don't blame him. Don't blame him.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah.
did plenty for the university. So, it's one of those things.
I think, yes. I think it's all three guys are going to have an equal clean slate going into camp, starting in spring camp, because all three are there through the summer into the fall camp leading up to that Florida State game. I hope that all three guys go in with an equal opportunity to win the job. No preconceived, no, you've been here longest, so it's your job to lose. No, you came with me from Washington, so you have a leg up. You're the highest rated recruit we've ever signed, so it's your job to lose. I hope it's none of that. I hope we have three guys, one spot, go. May the best man win.
Exactly. I want the guy who's going to give us the best chance to be successful.
Yes,
regardless of who it is.
Whoever it is.
I mean, I've got my bias on who I think it's going to be. I'm hoping it's Ty. I'm hoping he finally has his shot. And I know a lot of people are like, well, that's just a horrible pick. And maybe it is. But I
just want him to have the opportunity.
I just want him to at least show that he's got a chance. And you know what? If he loses, and he'll transfer out by the beginning of the season, and it won't matter.
I think that's.
I wouldn't blame him if that's the case. He has stayed long enough. If he doesn't win it out,
he doesn't peg me as the quitter type. Like Otis just got mad in the middle of the year and quit.
Yeah.
Winners do that. Promise you. But I think that Ty's going to be the odd man out, and he's going to transfer. I think Keelan's going to win the job. Mac will be his backup, and then I think Ty's going to go somewhere where he can play.
And I don't blame him if that's the case.
And I don't blame him either. I mean, I can't believe he stayed this long, but this will be the first chance I think he's had a fair shot to win the job.
Yeah, I mean, I lean Ty personally. I just think there's a lot to risk with this pick. And I think it would be a lot easier to swallow Ty Simpson winning the job and just being okay than throwing Keelan Russell into the fire and him just disappointing.
And then lose the confidence.
As a true freshman, or Austin Mack, I think is still very raw.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is kind of hung up on that throw against Mercer, which was incredible. But
great throw,
yes.
Yeah.
But I really think it's Ty. I think the experience is insurmountable. That's what's going to matter the most. Ultimately, I think he's good enough. And again, if things go bad, I think it's an easy one to kind of brush aside a little easier.
We tried it; it didn't work. We're making a switch.
If we're 9-4 again, it's still going to be loud. But 9-4 with Simpson versus 9-4 with Keelan Russell, who's perceived to be this awesome recruit. It's going to be a future Heisman winner and win a title and all this stuff. Like, I don't know. Just the optics would be a little worse. I know Kalen DeBoer probably isn't thinking about the press or the headlines too much, but that's just my take.
You think about it too, like affecting the confidence too, him getting thrown into the fire like that, unless he doesn't do well. How does that affect him mentally as a player, going forward? We've seen plenty of people get thrown into the fire, thrown to the wolves, and they just not recover, and they never transpire into anything. Case in point, Blake Barnett. I'll say that one till the end of time. That was one of the most highly touted quarterbacks. You thought he was going to be the second coming, that he was going to win the Heisman 2 years in a row, and he didn't make it past the first game in 2016. And after that, he transferred like to 2 or 3 different schools, and you never heard anything that he did again. So, yeah, I to your point, Fonzie, I agree. I was like, I hope it doesn't get to the situation where we have to throw Keelan. I know he's a phenomenal athlete. I know he's the highest graded recruit we've ever had. But I want to err on the side of, I love, people who've been in the system longer who are not going to take those risks. However, to the point, if Simpson, if he were to win the job and, we have to make a change because he's not producing and he's not doing well enough, then okay, then we make the move. But
well, see, nobody's been in the system longer because they haven't run the system.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't run Ryan Grubb and DeBoer's offense. None of them have, which I think is a part of the reason why Ty didn't play in the bowl game, because they didn't want to waste reps on an offense he wasn't going to be running in the spring and fall anyway. Plus, they were married to Milroe. They couldn't do anything. They had to ride or die with Milroe.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm hoping that all three just have an equal shot. Like, here's the playbook, best man win. If it's Ty, wonderful. If it's Mac, great. If it's Keelan, let's ride. I just, whoever wins the job, I'll ride or die with them.
I agree. I'd be a little wary of having it just be the Russell show from the get-go. Grant, I know this environment doesn't really breed or encourage letting players develop behind more senior players.
Right.
But I hope it really just comes down to this is just the best person for the job, not because we're trying to appease seniority stats.
Absolutely agree.
Because I feel like that's kind of what happened with Ryan Williams in a way, where, yes, he was magical with Georgia, and I felt like we were just chasing that. And we can only throw to Williams because we got to recreate that magic. And it just wasn't there,
Yeah, I think he hit a little bit of the wall, too. I mean, he's only a senior in high school. He should have been. So, he may have hit a little bit of a wall once some film got out. And, the limitations at quarterback and the struggles with the offensive line, all contributed to kind of really us going 5-4 after beating Georgia. We went 5-4 after that. That still blows my mind.
And part of the frustration is and that's okay if Williams is having an off game, but we can start throwing to other people now.
Bingo.
There are other players.
There's talent out there.
We would throw to Dupree once and get an amazing 15 yards. All right, let's never do that.
He was an automatic first down both times we threw to him.
I to Dupree and Bernard. We would have this amazing play. Let's just never do that again.
Literally one of the biggest advantage in college football nowadays, if you have an athletic tight end who can catch and block, you've got an advantage over 9 out of 10 teams. And it just blows my mind that we just didn't utilize that more. To your point, Hunter. Oh, yeah, we throw it to him for 15 yards. Might go back to that. No, draw play up the middle.
Yeah, you would have 2 catches for 30 yards.
Yep.
So my wish list.
Why does he not have 7 catches for 75 or 80 yards?
Yeah. So my wish list for quarterback this season basically is a quarterback that can spread the ball evenly, and not have to have this favoritism dynamic. So I feel like that's going to be important.
It makes you that much more lethal,
especially when you do have the weapons to do that.
I don't know if we did last year, though. To your point,
that's fair. Yeah.
I mean, Ryan Williams was great, but he had drop issues in the second half of the year, and
big time.
Like Jeff said, I think teams figured him out a little bit. Half of his targets were just step back and throw and let him make a play. That's never going to work. Bernard was extremely consistent, but after that, a single receiver did not step up.
Yeah, I agree.
None.
It's hard in college football. I mean, look at Texas, for example, this year. They spread the ball out really well. I think ours was a little bit of a disappointment, in my own opinion, but they have the talent to do it. I mean, they have NFL talent, 3-4 deep on that depth chart at receiver. Maybe not elite talent, but
good
NFL
enough
talent. We didn't have that, Kobe Prentice didn't really contribute much.
He fell off
Henderson had one really nice play against Georgia, and I didn't hear his name the rest of the year.
That's it. Except
Kendrick Law was a blocker, essentially. I mean, we'll see. I think a lot of it's also just the creativity of the offense, but we've talked about it ad nauseum. There's a bunch of reasons for that, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think it breeded being able to spread the ball out because we just didn't have the guys to spread the ball out to.
I totally agree with that. I think our receiver room is, like you said, this year it's not stacked with elite talent, but it's stacked with solid, consistent players. and some new elite talent coming in. I think Horton from Miami is going to be a very good piece. You know, consistent, solid player, experience. You need that, I think, along with these dynamic elite recruits coming in. You know, Lotsier Brooks and Derek Shepard and these highly touted receivers coming in. But you need that mix, I think.
Yeah, but Dupree should have got the ball more.
Mhm.
He was a matchup nightmare.
Yeah, he was. He had a little
gosh.
drop issues at times too, but
I mean,
they're
he was
college kids. They
poor
all do.
man's Dalton Kincaid is what he reminded me of. Kind of not quite as fast, but like you said earlier, honey, he's a guy who was 15 yards automatic, 10 to 15 automatic.
He put that head down and first down.
He never fell backwards.
No.
It was that 6'4", 6'5", 235, 240 pound frame. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't want to get in front of that either. Running at me, you know.
And to Scott's points, no, I'm not trying to
Phil
pretend that
Strong.
our receivers were magical 5 stars.
No.
Still, just be able to spread the ball. That's all I care.
Yeah,
I agree.
consistency and you're right. Pocket presence, spreading the ball around. Check downs are important to somebody other than yourself.
See, that was
True.
I'd like to see a check down to a back or two, even to a tight end. You know, Heath Miller made almost a Hall of Fame career just by running 6 yards and turning around
Yeah.
for
Greg
like 15
McElroy.
years.
the king of checkdowns. If Julio or Marquise Mays is not open, check down to the running back, check down to the tight end. Made a career of it. Guess what?
What's up, K-Spray? RTR. Guess what?
RTR. But yeah, you look at it and you're like, king of the checkdowns. I was like, you don't have to throw it 80 yards every play. Hell, you don't even have to do it 25 yards. If you
don't have to count to 12 in the pocket either.
Yeah. Just, hey, 1, 2, 3, not there. Check down right there. Gone. 6 yards right there.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of factors for that.
Well, considering the quarterback that we had could not hit a short pass, just could not do it. Could not do it. Anything I want to see the percentage, and I know we've harped on Milroe plenty, but his percentage in short to mid range passes anywhere from 5 to 18 yards, and see how bad it really was, because I mean,
I have to do some research.
you got the guy throw it a million miles an hour and be behind the receiver. So I was like, yeah, those short range passes were not up to par on that. But I digress. That's
we got some momentum this offseason with the recruiting class coming in. Now the scrub hire. I mean, there's some positive momentum going. So I'm looking forward to seeing this translate in year 2 of the Kalen DeBoer era. So we're going to pivot off of that now. Basketball season, 9 games in, halfway through the SEC mix. We sit at 8-1, second place, behind undefeated Auburn and number 1 team Auburn. They are atop the SEC standings. They're good, man.
Yeah,
that team's good.
Yeah.
I think our best shot to beat them is to run all night. I don't know that Broom can run up and down the floor full speed for 40 minutes. Maybe he can. Maybe their style slows it down a little bit for him, but I think that's our best shot at defending Broom is to tire him out.
They can shoot a little bit though too.
They can shoot.
I mean, they're good from 3.
They can shoot.
I think we have to beat them running gun in a barn burner.
They're the number 1 offense in the country, but they don't score the most points. We're the number 2.
I think
we're the number 2 or 3 offense in the country, but I think we score the most. It was like 90-something points, 90.2 points a game for us, and 84.6 points for Auburn. However, to your point, like you said, it's going to be after run and gun all night because If not, and they slow it down, they're going to beat our brains in because they are just
control our turnovers either. It's
yeah.
nasty.
Speaking on basketball,
Yeah,
Nate
we
Oates
got-
says on Hey Coach that Alabama will stay on the road between Saturday's game at Arkansas and next Tuesday's game at Texas. Oates says his assistants with an NBA background suggested this. They'll watch the Super Bowl together Sunday night in Austin, Texas. So they ain't coming back. They're going to just chill on the road for 5 days. Cool.
That
All right.
makes logistical sense too.
Yep.
Sure, the accounting department appreciates that.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
I'm
just
going to
trying to-
backtrack real quick for 1 minute
Sure,
just to
backtrack as long as you
about
need to,
Milrow
buddy.
a little bit. So
Oh, here we go. Here it comes. Let's go.
78% of his throws under 10 yards were on target. On target's kind of loosely defined here.
Hmm.
In the stadium.
But the second lowest out of the quarterbacks they considered was Curtis Rourke on Indiana, and he was 6% higher. On intermediate throws, he was on the boundary. He was on target 51% of the time. Second worst to only Quinn Ewers, who I mentioned before. I'm telling you, he sucks in the intermediate passing game.
Agreed. I was very.
He can pretty much
underwhelmed with
only
him this
check
year.
down. Anyway, intermediate throws over the middle, he is actually well above average at 72%.
Yep, I can see that.
Hanging above 50% on throws of 25 yards or more was obviously huge for him. So, I mean, he's really a boom or bust guy,
Oh yeah.
as we've seen, and the stats back it up. But I don't know, man. If he can figure out that short game, he's going to be something.
I think that would help his game tremendously. If he could figure that out, he could have been, in my opinion, a first rounder because of his talent. But he throws it 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it's not even just it's touch and precision. If your wide receiver is crossing in front of you, you've got to lead them. You can't throw it 1,000,000 miles an hour, and you can't throw it behind them either. Because guess what? They're going to go back and try and catch it like this. They'll bounce off them and gets intercepted. We saw it time and time again. So I agree. I mean, it's pocket. I'll take it back. The two things, if he had improved in his short game and his pocket awareness, I think that would have helped his case a lot better. Now, Quinn, I actually am going to wholeheartedly agree with you, Scott. Underwhelmed with his performance. I didn't really think he was that great this year.
He really
they
hasn't
screwed
been
it at
his whole
Sark.
career. I mean, he's had the same struggles, similar to Milrow. Milrow's had the same issues. I think Milrow had a lot more kind of against him with the offensive line, and I mean,
Well,
we had
Ewers didn't
struggles
turn the ball
route
over
running
at the
wide receiver.
rate that Milrow did. I mean, Ewers wasn't a walking turnover. Milrow the last 4 games had like 14
Yeah.
turnovers or something. Just an insane amount.
That's true.
And
That's what
Ewers played hurt a
killed
good bit
him.
of the season
Yeah.
too, if
So,
I'm not mistaken.
Fonzie, this is you can speak on this a little. Now, all this talk of how much the Steelers love Milrow. God, love of God, I can't believe I'm gonna have to live through this if he goes to Pittsburgh. But what is the difference between him and Justin Fields, other than about $25 million? But I mean, they look like the same player to me.
I think they profile as draft prospects the same. I think the kind of obvious answer is Fields has been in the league for how many years?
Yeah, this was his 4th.
Milrow's
I
not
believe.
going to replicate that production right off the bat. Now, if we got him in the 3rd or 4th round, I would not be upset. I think what happened is the Steelers said they liked him. They probably have a good idea of where they'd be comfortable taking him. And some idiot with a journal ran off and wrote a story about it. I
Andrew
think he's going
Filipponi?
to be selected well before the Steelers would consider taking him.
Yeah. Please.
Personally. I mean, I can't predict the future, but that's how I feel. I think most teams probably view very highly of him as a prospect, especially if they think they can get him at value. I mean, An
Yes.
athlete like that at quarterback in the 3rd round is excellent
Bingo.
value, even if it doesn't work out. But
Bingo.
yeah, I don't think we're going to be drafting him 21st.
No. Well, and I think had Pickett gone in the 4th round or 3rd or 4th round, it would have been a lot different for him.
Yep.
But because he went in the 1st round, Tomlin thought he was smarter than everybody because they played at Pitt, and it turns out that you put him in that Steelers offensive system, if you want to call it that, and he had no shot. Small hands, happy feet, no protection, crappy offense, no identity on offense leads to bad QB play, and then they punt you after the 2nd year.
Yep.
So,
What if
but
Noah
had he been
Ward
taken to the
Grove
4th
fell to
round,
Mark?
he could have sat for 3 years. There would have been no pressure to play him. So, yeah, if they take Milroe in the 3rd or 4th round, okay, if I got to suffer through that, so be it. But at least it's not 1st or 2nd round pick. I mean, that would be crazy to me.
What if you wore gloves, though? Would you like him more?
Anybody that wears gloves, play quarterback, run. Big Ben did it when it was like snowing.
Big Ben
Right.
also won a Super Bowl, too. So.
Ben didn't do it like in spring ball when it's, it's 100 degrees outside. He had in gloves.
September 9th.
Of course, Ben was 6'9", 300 pounds almost. He probably had hands size of feet. Somebody posted, did you see Antonio Brown's tweet today? Did I text y'all that?
Mm-hmm.
Where it was him with Ben Roethlisberger and it said me and Seth Rogen in 2015. Antonio Brown is the greatest thing on Twitter now. If you're not following him, anybody listening not following AB on Twitter, go follow him. The guy is a riot.
He's going to have a fascinating documentary one day.
Oh my gosh, that 30 for 30 is going to be awesome.
Yeah, 30 for 30.
He's not even going to know what planet he's on. So by that time,
man. He is so funny.
Is 21st the first earliest Steelers draft pick? It looks like it.
Is it 20th or 21st?
I mean,
21.
Stop me if you've seen this movie before. Steelers finish a smidge above 500 and pick in the low 1st round, wind up with a lineman or a defensive lineman.
Yep.
Oh, that ought to be fun.
well, we do need D linemen.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of receivers go to us too, but
Well, we need that too. We're going to need a running back because they're going to let Najee walk. So I see a lot of Ashton Genty. Although I'd be shocked if he's there at 21.
be shocked
Yeah,
if we
right.
took him at 21, being the Steelers. He's not the prototypical Steelers running back, but
Yeah.
Be interesting what wide receivers be left at 21 too.
I mean, we
there'll
need
be
a lot.
plenty of options, I think, but
Yeah.
maybe not enough to draft someone there.
Or
Wow.
we could just try using Mike Williams. I don't know.
We could.
Could try that.
Guy we wasted a pick for.
Yeah. I mean, I think he made like 4 catches. All were for first downs or the game-winning touchdown. And it's like, why are we not playing this guy more?
Because that would make too much sense.
I mean, apparently you need 9 or 10 games to get acclimated to this juggernaut offense of
Just crazy.
Arthur Smith running it up the middle on first down. I think 94% of the plays that this year was a run on first down.
Sounds about right. He really never tried to open the playbook, but
Shut up, Cotton.
I don't know.
We'll see. Somebody gonna take him. Somebody will fall in love with him at pro day or at the combine, and he'll run like a 4.28 40, and he'll get picked, and he'll be a lottery pick.
I'm telling you right now, NFL draft teams out there, do not do it.
Not in the first round. You're gonna get fired.
Second or third. It'd be safer.
Yes.
Don't do it in the first.
Where did Joe Milton go? He went in the 2nd round, right?
He went in the 6th round to New England.
To New England.
I can see it be like that.
Yeah, and he got to play a little bit at the end. In fact, he was taking a bunch of crap because he won the game he started, and it cost him the number 1 pick in the draft. He was taking some heat on Twitter, and he was like, "Look, man, I get to play all year. When they put me in, I got to play."
What's his name for the Giants? Played at Mizzou. Cost him the victim.
Drew Lock.
Yeah, Drew Lock. That's what it was. Yeah.
Hey, swaggy
yes, Anthony
Drew
Richardson
Lock
went
now.
5th overall, and that GM's going to get fired when that team sucks this year.
Dude quit on his
I think
team.
GM still has his job, to be honest.
Anthony tapped out. He went Zeke Elliott, came up tapping on the.
It's like, you're the quarterback. How are you tired? I'm tired. What?
This is an interesting strategy from J-Bake here. He should just go in there and lie and say he's going to switch positions, and then they'll take him higher and then pull the rug out from under him.
Yep.
Don's right, though. Like, Anthony Richardson went high in the first, and it's because year after year, these front offices never learn, and they're always looking at the ceiling. Very few of them look at the floor.
Bingo.
At least in the first and second rounds. There's going to be someone that takes him far too early.
Yes.
And if he doesn't start right away, I think it's fine. I probably wouldn't do it, but I think it's fine. But if someone tries to thrust him into a starting role right away, my God, they're going to ruin his career and they're going to lose their career.
And their own.
It's like,
Yes. Oklahoma's defense was too fast for him to process. So what are you going to do when you put him against the Ravens or the Eagles?
I mean, and he played like 12 games too? Like,
yes. He needs to go somewhere and be eased into the program. They can teach him how to be a quarterback. But like you said, Fonzie, if they throw him out there week 1, sink or swim, it's going to ruin him and it's going to cost somebody their job.
Yep.
You know what? If that ends up happening and someone does, or whoever puts him in that position, you know what? They deserve to be fired. So I will feel no remorse if that decision happens.
These quarterbacks, think about it, these quarterbacks when they get to the league are not prepared to play in the NFL.
No.
They're
someone said that recently.
50% passers running college offenses, whatever, and then they get to the NFL and they don't know how to play the position. So
they shouldn't be starting.
The level of quarterback play in the NFL is tailing off tremendously because the guys are not developed when they get to the NFL.
Yeah, they shouldn't be starting, in my opinion. I mean, the Jaden Daniels and CJ Strouds are successful because they're surrounded by talent. It's not just one player. I think that's the same problem Caleb Williams is. The Bears is horrible about this. They get some, great wide receivers, get a first-round pick, quarterback. We saw with Justin Fields, and they just, shocker, doesn't magically fix your situation.
Right.
Agreed. I mean, I don't know.
We'll see.
Browns get a first-round pick every other few years, and they don't know how to develop a QB.
The problem is it's endemic in all these teams that fail to develop a quarterback is they don't build their line first.
Yes.
I know exactly who's going to be good in 3 or 4 years because they have a great line with subpar skill players in a, for lack of a better term, shit quarterback. And then in 2 years, when they still suck, but that line's still intact, they go and grab a quarterback and it works seamlessly. Because a lot of these guys coming out of the draft can process a defense in 3.5 seconds, but they can't do it in 2 or 2.5. And that's all it takes is if you can buy that little extra time for most of these guys early on in their career, it makes that transition so much easier.
100%.
Brock Purdy, for example, was a good college quarterback, basically profiled as a game manager, but he's thrust into a great offense with a great line. They already had the team built for him, but man, I don't know. I think the solution's right in front of all these teams and they just don't follow it because they want the flash.
I agree.
And they think that quarterback's going to fix it all, and it just never does.
They're chasing Mahomes from Texas Tech, and not to knock Jalen Hurts at all, but man, that's probably one of the best O-lines I've seen. It's like that is worth every penny that wherever they paid for. And that's the reason Saquon works so much better than what he did in New York, and why they can do the tush push. But guess what? Because they have the best O-line in the country.
They lost the Hall of Fame center and didn't skip a beat.
Yeah.
Steelers lost the
Landon
Hall of Fame
Dickerson
center
was
and
like
replaced him with a
point.
rookie guard from Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you look at and Dallas had the best offensive line, it seemed, for year in and year out for 10, 12 years. And their terrible management literally couldn't get them over the hump. That's why they haven't won anything in over 30 years.
Oh, boy. Ty Pulliam's back.
Ruh-roh.
Oh, Ty. Good to see you, buddy. Missed you. But yes, you are 100% right, Fonzie. And I'll give the Steelers credit for this. They are drafting offensive linemen. If you look at our offensive linemen, they've drafted some good offensive linemen. Now, they put Broderick out of position. He's been not very good. The guy we just drafted this year gets hurt in preseason.
Yeah.
So he's
very
gone.
early in the year.
James Daniels gets hurt, so he's gone. So the pieces we have to work with, we couldn't put where they're supposed to go. I don't know what Dan Moore deal is. I don't know if he's still. I don't know if he's still in the mix or if they're trying to move off him so they can put Broderick back at left tackle. I'm not sure, but
I mean, Dan Moore is a UFA.
Oh, is he? Okay.
And he's been a starting tackle in this league for 4 years. I mean, I know how much you dislike him, but someone's going to pay him to
somebody
start
will
or swing tackle, and he's going to get $12 million. I mean,
somebody going to pay him. You're right about that. Somebody going to pay him. I hope it's not us. But
Yeah,
that lineman we let go a couple years ago that went to the Rams and became an All-Pro. The guard. I'm gonna have to. That's gonna bother me now. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Kevin Dotson.
That's him, Dotson. I knew it started with a K. Yes, Kevin Dotson. He wasn't very good with us and went to the Rams and became an All-Pro. So, a lot of it is fit, a lot of it is scheme, a lot of it is coaching. Tomlin hired the worst offensive line coach in the league who got fired from the worst graded offensive line in the NFL, and Tomlin hired him the next offseason. So it is what it is.
I mean, they have a whole starting line now. Just
Yes.
through the draft in the past 2 years and free agency.
Center is locked up. Frazier, I think, is a 10-year center. Barring injury.
McCormick too. I mean, that guy's
Man,
all you want in a guard.
he stepped up this
Can
year.
be a little rough, but he's tough as nails. Like,
Yes, he's going to be in the mix next year. He'll probably replace Daniel. I think Daniels is gone, isn't he?
yeah, yep.
So yeah, the line's going to look pretty stout across the front if they stay healthy. Now, can they perform? We'll have to wait and see. But it won't be because we haven't tried to draft for that. So I'll give them that.
Do y'all see a situation where they let both go, Russell and Justin, and just go completely blank slate? Or you think they sign one or the other?
They're going to sign one of the two, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll probably sign Fields. They sign either, but
This is not the year
silly
to
not to
draft
look
your
at all their
quarterback.
options. I mean, if they think they can upgrade through the draft or free agency, I don't think they can do so through the draft, but if they think they can and they do, I mean, I won't complain.
Yeah.
But I think Fields is the safest option. I think Russ wore his welcome out, and if we're serious about Russ, we need to completely overhaul our skill players.
Yeah, were the rumors true about the supposed beef he had with Arthur? Or is that just all hoopla?
I don't know.
I'm sure there may have been some. But
I'm sure that happens with every
Yeah.
about to say
15
Todd
plus
Haley
year
was
vet
that was
in the
a
NFL, you
daily
know?
event when Todd Haley was there.
Yeah.
He was cussing somebody. Of course, he had great offenses and we won a lot.
The NFL is the biggest soap opera in the world.
Bunch of drama queens.
Like, it's just all this stuff is so misconstrued. I guarantee you they probably got in a little disagreement about game plan or whatever. Russ wanted to do things this way, but Arthur Smith thought this would be better. And then it just turned into, they don't like each other at all. When it could have been a super productive conversation.
Right.
It's
they need something out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I mean, if not for that, I don't even talk about them.
They're not bad enough to rip on, but they're not good enough to get excited about. So
good is the enemy of great. And I'm afraid that's where the Steelers have landed, is good. And it's just like the status quo, just good enough to say we're a playoff team, but never good enough to be a real threat. And it's like, that's the phrase, good is the enemy of great. And I think that's where the Steelers are right now. They're good, but that's it. You can't just be good, and you have to be great if you want to compete for championships.
Cannot continue to stay on the trend of being one game above 500. Just cannot do it.
You can't.
I'm not even an NFL guy, but I've watched watched the Steelers, watched y'all's team for the last 3 years, and I'm just sitting here. I'm like, when's it gonna change? All right, when's it gonna be enough? Because I know the Steeler faithful out there, they're ready for a change, and if something doesn't happen soon, they're about to be faded. They're going to be in the same category as Dallas, except they're going to be the one game above 500. Just good enough to get there, not good enough to do anything dynamic or meaningful until some changes happen. Except Dallas can't make it.
There's no urgency in Pittsburgh. Rooney's like, hey, you look at the last 25 years, we're better than average. We've been good more than we've been bad. And it's like, right, you're proving my point. Like, you're satisfied with just being good enough. And that's not, I take a losing season here and there if it means we're contenders, here and there too.
It was like early 2000s last time y'all had a losing season.
It was Cowher. No, Cowher went 500 his last year.
It's been like 20 years.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Tomlin's never had one. He's been there 17 years. Cowher won the Super Bowl and then finished 500 his last 2 years.
Yep.
I'll never forget that because we scored in overtime to beat the Bengals the last game of Cowher's career that finished us at 500 and knocked the Bengals out of the playoffs. That's awesome. Antonio Holmes, I love you.
No, we suck the year before we went 15-1 and lost to the Patriots.
Yes, because that's how we picked 10th to get Big Ben.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Or 11, whatever. We picked high enough that year because I think we were 6-10 or something like that the year before.
6-10. That was the last.
The Tommy Maddox.
500. Tommy Maddox was a starter.
Yeah. And then they took Ben, and then Maddox got hurt like in week 2. And then Ben, the rest is history.
Yep.
Hey,
almost
boys,
like Brady.
I got to jump off real quick, but I will catch y'all next time, all right?
All right.
See y'all later.
Peace out.
So, so it's almost like, the Brady stitch. He's just in the right, he got the opportunity and never relinquished it.
Now you're in the Chiefs stint.
And now the Chiefs, who will be in the Super Bowl as long as Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are an item.
This is exactly what's going to happen Sunday. Chiefs are going to win in the final 3 minutes.
Right.
They're all going to be celebrating. Travis Kelce's going to retire and then get down on one knee on national television.
And that'll be the end of the Chiefs dynasty because there'll be no reason for Taylor Swift to watch Chiefs games anymore.
And then Josh Allen will start dating Kamala Harris or some shit next year.
No, he's about to marry Haley Steinfeld.
Engaged to Haley Steinfeld, yeah.
So
it's going to go sour once the NFL gets involved.
True.
Yeah. God. That makes me depressed.
But hey, man, them Swifties are coming, and the NFL knows it. And they're like, yeah, we can get a rating of in the, 120s.
This has got to be the most boring Super Bowl in a while, right?
I know. I got to pull for the Eagles. I can't believe this.
Yeah.
Well, it's great. It's just I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Like I don't think the games are actively rigged towards the Chiefs. But I think the optics of the Chiefs right now are just bad. So no one's rooting for them. The Eagles are the team in the NFC that no one likes.
True.
It's like
They're the team with the obnoxious fan base.
yeah.
Yes. Nobody wants Philly to win anything.
If there's one certainty after this Super Bowl, is that the city of Philadelphia will burn no matter what.
Yep.
You can bet that, my friend.
It's like-
Yep.
You guys remember when Hurts was like 1 for 12 in the first half of that Georgia game, and we were going, man, this guy's going to play in 2 Super Bowls before he's 25 and have a $270 million contract.
Think about.
As he was, 2 for 11 in the first half of that Georgia game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm telling you
gosh.
though, it's the tush push. Like that makes all the difference for that
Yeah.
Josh
offense.
Bush and Saquon Barkley, man.
They
That
use
helps.
it on 4th down and on the goal line constantly, and they never ever get stopped. They extend 2 or 3 drives a game just with that play. It's
Can't stop it.
it's
And then they
nuts.
get down there, and that guy dives over the line, try to go Polamalu like 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
But you know what? I got so much more respect for the tush push as opposed to the flopping BS that Mahomes pulls just to try to bait a call.
Oh, the flopping's awful.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah.
most soccer, bull crap I've ever seen in my entire life.
Man, and them refs buy it every time. They
They
throw
bite it
every
every
flag
time.
they can find. They'll be taking their socks off and throwing their socks too
Yeah.
when they think you got hit. I hope you're right.
I'm not a
Ty. I hope
Mahomes
Philly
fan,
wins.
but I honestly don't mind the gamesmanship. I think it's on the officials not to call it.
Right.
Problem is they call it.
I
every time.
agree. If the officials are going to call it, then do it.
Yeah.
If they're
I
going
don't
to call it
blame
every time.
Mahomes because he's allowed to do it. It's within his right, and he's just
Yeah.
playing the game. It's just so frustrating to watch. It's like,
Those refs buy it every time.
yeah.
Yep.
Every
2
time.
Texans defensive guys gave themselves some concussions, and that's somehow their fault.
Yeah, and they get a penalty. And it's like
Yeah.
it didn't even touch the guy.
It made me wish that somebody like Max Crosby would just lay Mahomes out and just cut
Yeah.
that bull crap right out.
Well, because you know that now they slide late. They wait to the very end to slide, and then they get hit, and the flag comes out, and it's like the
Yeah.
defender can't stop. Like you
now
don't
you're
give
just
yourself
punishing
up.
them for doing their job.
Yeah, it's just it's an awful place to be in if you're a defensive player.
I know the NFL has very much become offensive heavy. They do not respect defensive players whatsoever. But yeah.
Oh boy. Well, anybody got anything else they want to burn on? That was a good show, man. We touched on some NFL stuff, touched on some basketball, touched on some recruiting, touched on Coach Grubb, possibly Coach Huff, maybe. Could be Coach Huff. You never know.
Basketball team's very, very good. I'll say that.
Basketball team's very good. And honest to God, Scott, we have not played our best game yet.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm with you. They're
We got a lot of turnover stuff we got to clean up.
I was gonna say if they clean over the turnovers and can transfer the free throws from game to game.
Yeah. This
They're
is a
gonna be a
deep
tough
squad. We're running 10 deep. Now that we're getting people back healthy, we're at 10 deep, man. 10 bodies deep. This is a squad here. We just got to clean up the dang turnovers, man. And Sears has got to stop driving to the lane and trying to lay it up against 2 7-foot post players, or turning it over on a jump ball as he's driving the lane and they just reach in and put their hands on the ball and it's a jump ball turnover. He gets more turnovers doing that.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to this, Ty. I'm looking forward to this announcement. So I'll be looking for this. But anyway, if we can get those turnovers cleaned up, we got some. Chris Youngblood is a steely-eyed missile man.
He sure is.
He
I
is.
mean, dude is fearless.
Terrible.
That ball hits his hands and it's up. He don't care.
He hits
Quick
them, too.
release. Yeah. I wish Sears would shoot more like Youngblood. But
What's
we'll
he
see.
What's Youngblood shooting? Is he
Now, he started off slow, but he's really come on the last 4 or 5 games.
say
He's kinda-
recently it seems like he's 60, 50,
Yes.
40. Pretty
I
consistent.
mean, he was 7 for 10 against Mississippi State the other night.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
man,
And they were
props to Mississippi
clutch
State.
threes, man. They were big time.
Yeah. And all in like quick succession too. It was incredible
Yeah.
to watch.
Yeah. I mean, they kept us in that game. I mean,
Kept us
Mississippi State
alive.
we made a couple of runs and Youngblood really saved that game for us. But
And props Mississippi State too. Like that. I mean, we were sloppy and they capitalized on it, and he really came to save us there.
I think we're going to split against Auburn. That game, the last game of the season, that could either be nothing or it could be for the regular season.
I would be perfectly happy if we split with the talent that Auburn has.
Yeah, Auburn's good. They're tough. They're going to be a tough out.
They are. They mirror us pretty well.
They do. I mean, I think Nate's a big reason why Auburn suddenly has a bunch of shooters, and I think Bruce kind of saw the direction it was going.
Yep. We just need to foul Janai or whatever his name is. What's his last? Is it Broom?
Yeah.
Broom,
like sweep with a broom. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Janai Broom.
We need to foul him because he sucks from the line. I mean,
yeah, I think he's mid-60s.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know the exact statistic, but he's rough.
Yeah.
He's foul him a little bit. Don't
beast
foul
down
out.
in the box. So I think we just got to run him. I think if we just got to maybe play small lineup that runs all that, just stays running, and maybe gas him out.
Yeah.
Because if we try to go down there and post up with him and try to out physical him, that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So, anyway, well, that's about a good time to wrap. Enjoyed the show tonight, fellas. Good seeing you guys. Good to be back in the mix. We'll have to make plans for the show next Monday. Post Super Bowl. I even get to use my Bama in the Super Bowl graphics. Let me throw that up right quick. These are our Bama connections in the Super Bowl here, players and coaches. I didn't even know Doug Nussmeier was on the Eagles staff till I put this graphic together.
Me either.
But we got Landon Dickerson, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, Tyler Steen, Eli Ricks, Byron Young, and Cameron Latou, who's on the practice squad or the reserve squad. Oops, and I got the wrong picture. I got Landon Dickerson's picture there instead of Cameron Latou's. Oops. Oh, well. But yeah, there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players and 3 coaches. 7 players, 3 coaches.
Pretty good.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby. So anyway, well, gentlemen, let's try to shoot for next Monday night. We get some post Super Bowl reaction. Bama will be coming off a big game at Arkansas. So we'll have a couple things we can touch base on. Some also Ty Haywood signs on Wednesday.
Oh, he's signing.
Yeah, he posted, said Wednesday 8 a.m. at whatever gym he said he was going to be at. So he's signing Wednesday morning.
Nice.
Okay. Hopefully he
he's been posting a lot of stuff with Keelan Russell lately, so I don't know if he's just being cryptic or if he's just playing the game and knows where he's going all along. Or if he's known all along and parlayed that into a bigger offer from Michigan. So who knows? We'll see on Wednesday morning.
Dave Portnoy and Tom Brady shilling out.
So anyway, but if you guys got anything else, we can wrap this show up. Fonzie, best of luck with your camera issues.
Yeah, I'll try to get this other one.
We'll get you fixed up one of these times.
But we'll see.
But until then, boys, roll tide, and we'll see you guys next week.
Well done.
Well done.